On the grid, full switch off. And think about your brake bounce offset. Brake bounce offset. Engine off, then back to P2. They'll wheel you in, we'll change tyres.
Always ends the same when it was me and you. But every time I meet somebody new, it's like deja vu. I swear they sound the same. It's like they know my skin. Every word they say sounds just like him. And it goes like this. We'll get in your car and you'll need to kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lie on the backseat. And then one random night when everything changes, you won't reply and we'll go back to strangers.
Monaco. Formula 2 has been welcomed back to this most famous of race locations, and the excitement in the air is building as we count down to the start of today's race. The Circuit de Monaco is, for all practical purposes, pretty much unchanged since its 1929 introduction. It's strange to consider, but this 2.1 mile lap will take the drivers here around almost an entire country. 19 corners, but not that many opportunities for overtaking. Instead, this is a track that rewards technical skill. We are nearly ready for the start of today's race, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the grid. Goose lines up on pole position, and it's Dennis Hauger in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Daruvala, Iwasa, Teo Porcher, Martins, Vesti, Behrman, Miney, Enzo Fittipaldi, Leclerc, Doohan, Isaac Hadjar, Richard Verschoor, Novalak, Correa, Cordial, Zane Maloney, Stanek, Crawford, Boschon, and Roy Nissany completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's get down to the track. It is the Formula 2 race. It is time to introduce you to Alex Brundle. I'm Alex Jakes, and we've got changeable weather out there today. That's making for some nervous team personnel down in the paddock, down in the pit lane.
There are going to be some quivering hands on the tyre guns, aren't there, when they tighten up what could easily be the wrong specification of tyre completely for the conditions. It's a gamble out there.
Okay, you know this, but this track needs a lot of downforce, and as such, we're not going to have quite the same top speed as other circuits. The good news, though, is that it's going to make our DRS even more powerful. So try to make the most of it in the race and quali if you can. Drive-through penalty, you've got a drive-through penalty. Right, this track needs a lot of downforce, so we won't have as much top speed. The good news, though, is that it's going to make our DRS even more effective than normal. Try to make the most of it in the race and quali if you can. Okay, be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Damage to your front wing, damage to your front wing. Suggest we box to change it. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, mate, elbows out is great, but not that way. Come on, we can do better than that. Let's keep it clean, please. Mate, you made that look easy. Nice work. That's why I love working with you. Smashed it. Slow down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
Yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys!
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
The Japanese driver will see the checkered flag first. It's victory for Yuma Owasa.
Those fastest laps really count towards the end of the year, you know. The extra points for them start totting up, and that's how these drivers become champions at this level.
Dams, another team with a huge amount of history based right in the heart of motorsport near Le Mans in France, have once again shown their formidable abilities out on the track with yet another win today. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care. qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us there.
Welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. This circuit has seen some exciting racing over the last quarter century. The question is, which of the young drivers below will be the next to write a chapter of that illustrious history? It's back to the future for the F2 drivers today. We welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector. It will shorten lap times and reduce the length to 2.9 miles, 14 turns. This was the original setup of the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. Let's look at the grid order for today's race while the cars make their final preparations. Goose lines up on pole position, and it's Jehan Daruvala in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Pourchaire, Martins, Ollie Bearman, Owassa, Hauger, Fittipaldi, Vesti, Arthur Leclerc, Novalak, Doohan, Richard Verschoor, Amaury Cordial, Maloney, Miney, Hadjar, Juan Manuel Correa, Crawford, Nissany, Stanek, and Ralph Boschung completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Hello one, hello all, and welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, he is Alex Brundle, and we have changeable conditions today, Alex. How does that uncertainty affect the strategy?
Well, uncertainty is what strategy is all about, but it absolves the teams from the responsibility of running both compounds of tyre. They might have to use that wet tyre, of course, and then the question is, where do those crossovers lie between the wet and dry conditions?
fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, mate, right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Great stuff, it looked like you made easy work of that target. Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys!
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
So, another fantastic victory for PHM Bacherouz today.
Have you seen one quite as dominant as that, Jakesy? Not sure I have. They led every single lap of that one, likes to flag.
Here come our winning drivers then out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling race. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today.